For over 3,300 years, the Torah has been a living document, a guidebook for people of all ages, from ancient times to the modern age.
According to the great Hollywood director Steven Spielberg, it was the brave archaeologist Dr. Henry Indiana Jones who back in the 1930s battled sword-wielding Arabs, dangerous Nazis, and poisonous snakes to try and find the lost Ark of the Covenant, which was said to be hidden under an Egyptian desert city that was completely buried in an ancient sandstorm. You know, Hollywood never really gets it right, but one thing they did nail is the gold-covered poles used to carry the Ark on the shoulders of the tribe of Levites. The Holy Ark, the gold-covered wooden box containing the 2 stone tablets, the Luchot, which God gave to Moses on Mount Sinai, stood in the inner sanctum of the Mishkan, the portable tabernacle, which traveled with the Jewish people in their 40-year sojourn in the desert. In our Torah portion this week, which details many of the laws pertaining to the tabernacle and its various vessels, the Torah commands that these carrying poles, which were attached to the ark, were never ever to be removed. Although there was certainly no shortage of wagons around and other ox-driven vehicles, nonetheless God commands that the Holy Ark was always to be carried on the shoulders of the Levites by those poles, which again were never to be detached from the ark itself. The question is why? Why was it so important that these poles were never ever to be removed? Even when the Jewish people were encamped in a particular place for a lengthy stay, in fact they were settled in one area for almost 20 years, those poles remained lodged within the rings which were affixed to the ark. Interestingly enough, the law against removing the poles did not apply to the other vessels in the tabernacle, such as the altars and the showbread table. For those items, there was no prohibition to remove their poles when not in use. So why the ark? Why weren't the ark's poles also allowed to be removed while it was stationary? What are we to learn from the fact that the holiest artifact in the world was always ready to travel at a moment's notice? What is the message for us today? The function of the tabernacle, which was mobile and hence transported throughout the desert, was to bring the indwelling of the divine presence, the Shekhinah, to each and every place in which they encamped. The Holy Ark, containing the 10 Commandments, the Word of God, represents the life-giving waters of the Torah that can quench and revitalize the dry, parched desert, bringing life and vitality to all places, even to locations devoid of life, places with a glaring spiritual vacuum. It was the obligation of the tribe of Levi, those that are devoted to God's service, to pick themselves up, take along the ark and the divine presence, trek through the desert to bring the quenching waters of Torah to the doorstep of their fellow man. This week, our Torah portion teaches us that just as the ark's poles were never to be removed, always at the ready, so too we must always be ready to hasten to the assistance of our brothers and sisters, to offer them the refreshing waters of the Torah's wisdom and guidance, no matter who they are or where they may be. We mustn't ever consider ourselves too important to go off running into the desert to save one who is spiritually faint and to bring them back to life. I'm Rabbi Benny Rappaport, and thank you for joining us.